Hello everyone, I'm back at it again in my home, here to talk about some awesome rings with you guys. Today we're going to be focusing on one specific style of ring, and that is a halo ring. So halo, what that means is that there are accent stones that surround the center gem. Halos can have accent gems on the sides as well, or it can have a plain metal band. The halo is the defining feature that kind of gives it that name. They're really popular for a variety of reasons, but we can kind of go through some of them and talk about what those reasons might be based on this specific style. Okay, so here are the 6 rings to kind of give you a slight little preview that we'll be talking about. So to go through them really quick, we have the CADenza Halo, the Lotus Flower, the Cambria, the Waverly, the Reina, and the Fancy Halo with side stones. So I'm going to show you guys all up close and personal ones. So let's kind of just start at the top of the box, and we'll go with the CADenza Halo first. So the CADenza Halo is a vintage inspired halo. And why it's vintage inspired is because of the mill grain detail and some other features that you might find pretty obvious when you're looking at it. It definitely gives off a vintage feel, but it still has a lot of modern elements to it. So I'm gonna zoom in for you guys. So you'll see it has like a unique shape right here, right here. It's not like a continuous circle. It almost has like a cushion shape with some points and divots. And you can see it gives off loads of sparkle. And then on the side, it has 2 round diamonds in each of this marquee shaped metal. And they all have mill grain around them, which kind of adds to the vintage inspiration. So once again, this is the CADenza Halo. And it has an open gallery, so a wedding band will sit nice and flush. If I were to throw it on my hand with my other ring, it's gonna sit up close and personal, which I know a lot of people look for in a setting style. Awesome. So once again, that was the CADenza Halo. I'm gonna switch it up to a ring that is somewhat similar, but a little bit different. So I want you to be able to see them back to back so that you can kind of spot their differences. This is the Reina. So from afar, it might look pretty similar. It's gonna have a very similar shaped halo. But what the Reina has that the CADenza Halo doesn't is some negative space. So you might be able to see it right now through my hand. You can kind of see through the halo. It's a fun detail that adds a lot of character to the ring. It's kind of one of the reasons why it's my personal favorite halo ring, because I love a little bit of negative space. So I'm gonna zoom in for you guys so you can see the negative space a little bit more. And then it has a very dainty diamond band here, as opposed to the CADenza Halo, which had those round diamonds in the marquee shape. If you're looking at it from the side. And then in the center, we have about a 1.25 carat for reference. You can put a lot of different stones in here. You can put gemstones, so whether it's like a sapphire or a moissanite, you can put a natural diamond, lab diamond. There's fun shapes. I really love an oval with this as well. Honestly, there's endless possibilities, but the negative space is really fun depending on what shape. If you do a round, you'll have kind of the negative space that you're seeing here. If you do something a little bit more square, like a cushion, you'll decrease the negative space a little bit because you're squaring off the amount, if that makes sense. So I'll give you one more look at the Reina, and I'll put the CADenza on just so you guys can see the differences. So kind of like, almost like sister rings. They're similar but different. All right, let's transition a little bit. I'm gonna show you one of the most popular, most requested halo rings that we carry, and that's gonna be the Waverly. So right now, this is set with an approximately 2-carat pair. And the reason why the Waverly is so popular, at least from what I can gather, and the customers that I meet with, is how delicate it is. It's so dainty and beautiful and really allows the diamond you put in it to do the work. So let me zoom in for you, and it does allow a wedding band to sit flush based on what beautifully it's set on to the band or shank. Such a beautiful ring. Honestly, looks amazing with all different shaped center stones as well. Awesome. To kind of transition to kind of what we were doing before, comparing things that are a little bit similar but a little bit different. These two rings are two that I think people sometimes have a hard time differentiating between, the Halo with side stones versus the Waverly. They do have different shapes in them right now, so we'll have to kind of imagine a little bit, but I want to point out their differences. So, whereas the Waverly was delicately set on top, the Halo with side stones is going to be cathedral. So it's going to have the shank or band come up to meet the center diamond, and then it has an open gallery underneath. So if we're looking at these side by side, you can see that's a big difference. The thickness is going to be a tiny bit different as well. The Halo with side stones will have just a tiny bit thicker of a band. The way they're set is also a little bit differently. It's gonna be hard to see unless you're really zoomed in. And I don't wanna make it too blurry for you guys. You can almost kind of see. So the diamonds right here are gonna be more inlaid into the band. So they're each gonna have 4 prongs holding each tiny little diamond. Whereas these ones, they're what we call shared prong, meaning that there's a diamond, 2 prongs, and another diamond. So they're sharing a set of prongs with their neighbor diamond. So these will be kind of more set on top of the metal, as to these will be a little bit more embedded. So fancy Halo with side stones versus the Waverly. And for reference, this is about a 1.25 carat cushion in the middle versus a 2-carat pair. So both fancy shapes. Both beautiful rings. Give you one more zoom in. Go ahead and take the Waverly off since we spent a lot of time looking at that already. And we'll look at the fancy Halo with side stones. So this ring right here is going to be a little bit similar to the last two we looked at, but it has a little bit of variation as well. So the small details is what makes picking your ring important. So this one is a little bit more basket set. So if we're looking at it from the side, you're gonna see it's more encased. So some people really, really love this because it's gonna make it feel really low to your hand. This also allows the band to be really, really dainty when we're looking at it. Sorry, I'm just trying to find my light. If you look at this also, you can see the halo set a little bit below the diamond, which is a nice feature for a lot of people, as opposed to being more in line with the girdle, which is the flat part on the side of the diamond, kind of where top meets bottom. And then this stone right here is about a 1.25 carat round diamond. All right, I have another ring for us to look at. Zoom out of my face, making it a little bit less close. This ring is going to be called the Lotus Flower. This comes with side stones or no side stones. I have the no side stone version for us to look at, so just called the Lotus Flower. And what the defining feature of this ring is the shape of the halo. So if I put it on and you look at it from afar, you can almost kind of notice the fun shape it has, the more floral halo from afar. As I get closer, you'll definitely be able to notice it a little bit more. You'll see it almost has like a little ring, kind of each round diamond you can see the shape of, a little bit more so than a traditional halo. And then it has a plain metal band, say about 2 millimeters, and then an open gallery cathedral setting. You will find a lot of halos are cathedral set because they will need some support to hold all those accents in that center diamond. But if you want something with a little bit more set on top of the band as opposed to cathedral shoulders, then the Waverly or the Vienna is the Waverly without side stones. And then to kind of overview how to talk about halos is it's all going to be a lot of personal preference. So the way the diamonds are set, if you have diamonds on the side, what kind of profile you have, just kind of picking and choosing these small things can kind of allow you to come up with a combination that you really like. Like let's say you want to do this, but you want more diamonds on it. Well, let's look up the Lotus Flower with side stone. That might fit the bill perfectly. Let's say you like this, but you want the band to be a little bit thinner. Look up the Kala. That'll give you a little bit more of what you're looking for. So I just put on a couple other rings, or some of the rings that we already looked at. So we have the Reina right here, the CADenza Halo, and the Lotus Flower. I'm gonna throw on the Cambria, the Halo with side stones, and the Waverly. Hopefully I don't get these to fall off my finger. So you'll see from afar, I mean, other than shape will definitely be something that makes them look significantly different, but the small differences in these, if shape were all consistent, aren't as noticeable when you're looking at it back here. It is more noticeable when you get a little bit up close and personal. So to kind of go over one more time before we head on out, this is the Reina. It's about a 1.25 carat round. This is the Cambria. Also about a 1.25 carat round. This is the CADenza Halo. So look at it to make sure. Also about a 1.25 carat round. So this is actually super helpful when talking about comparisons and how halos might change the viewpoint of the ring based on the size of the halo diamond. So this one also is a 1.25 carat. You'll see that this definitely looks a little bit bigger than this. These halo side diamonds, these accent diamonds, are bigger. So they're gonna add more circumference to the overall ring from afar, even if the center stones are technically the same size. And then we had the Waverly with the 2 carat pair, and the Halo with side stones with a 1.25 carat cushion. Awesome. Well, I always love chatting with you guys about my favorite thing, Brilliant Earth and rings, ethical source jewelry. It's definitely my passion, and I'm glad a lot of you guys tune in to share that with us. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot us a DM. If you want to meet me or one of my colleagues for a virtual appointment, we love talking with you guys through virtual appointments. We can guide you through the differences between these that you might not catch on your own, and kind of help you narrow down based on that. We love giving a diamond education based on the 4 C's, cut, color, clarity, and carat, or talking through gemstone options as well. So thank you guys again for joining in, and I will see you guys all next week.